Welcome to Smith channel where we talk about millinery and lifestyle. So today we are going to be learning a very simple but unique fascinator where we'll be using our crinoline and our feather. Okay, let's go. So whenever I want to work with crinoline, I like to make sure that it's iron. When you iron your crinoline, it helps to make your work come out really neat. So see me here trying to prove to you that you can actually iron your crinoline directly, okay, with your pressing iron, as long as the iron is neat and the iron is not too hot, okay. So you can actually use it to press and iron your crinoline. So I did this crinoline, I turned it into 4, that's side, and I folded it again. Okay, so that it becomes permanent, I try to use my pressing iron to get it to be permanent in that particular size. It's a big crinoline that I use, that I folded it to get to this size. It's very simple, as you can see. So that's the way I work with it. So you can either fold in 2 ways, just the way I'm doing now, and iron, and you can do into 4. So depending on what you actually want to achieve. And always remember that you are supposed to knot every edge of the crinoline so that it doesn't loosen up. Okay, so that's how I decided to fold it and then iron. Can you see the effect? Very neat. Okay, most times now when you look at it, you even be thinking that it's cinnamon, but it's not cinnamon, it's crinoline. Okay, because you ironed it, people will not really identify or be able to identify the difference. Can you see how beautiful it's coming out? Okay, so that's the effect of ironing. Okay, especially when you notice that the crinoline is a bit hard. Okay, you iron it to make it flat, because when you work with a flat crinoline, can you see, it makes your work unique. So that's one of the secrets of my work. Okay, ironing. So always iron. Can you see the effect? Just like that. Because I ironed it, it looks very unique. Okay, so this one I want to just iron into 2. Okay, I want to iron into 2. When you do iron, that's another thing people don't understand. When you do iron, it will not be flat. It will open up at a point. But when you iron, the both sides will come together and stay like that. Do you understand? So that's the beauty of ironing. The both sides will just stick together, and then you can coil and you can create whatever you want to create in that, size. Okay, so let's always iron our crinoline. It helps to make your work really look beautiful. Okay, so let's start our design. So I'm using that too. We turn it into 2 iron. So I'm just using it to do a loop. Okay, just a short loop, as you can see. And then I'm taking it again backward. I'm doing another loop. So as we do, make sure you tack. If you don't tack, it will move. Okay, so you tack it, let it be very firm. I'm doing the 3rd one. So you can do as many as you want. Okay, just understand that when you iron it, it makes your work really nice. So you could do 5, you could do shorter ones, longer ones, and just make sure that you see that I didn't cut. Just make sure that they all stay in a pattern way. Okay, so now I brought the other one. You remember the one we ironed into 4? The first one I use is into 2. The other one now that I'm using, this one that I'm using now, is into 4. Okay, and then I'm putting the last small into 2 in front. Okay, and I make sure that I tack it very well. Now I'm not going to the center of the fascinator base. You see that I went to the edge, okay, to tack it. Yeah, I went to the edge to tack it. Why I did it this way? Just to make the fascinator taller, okay, and not so close to each other. Okay, so I've done that side. I'm trying to create another one for the other side. Okay, so I'm trying to almost do the same, but I'm doing a freestyle of, you know, design, just still using the two that we folded and the 4x4 that we folded. You can see. All right, and then you will tack it as many times as you want. Okay, so once you've tacked it that way, you are sure that it's firm. You can do as many as you want. I did as many as I want. So if you want it fuller, you can continue, you know, putting more. But I think mine is okay. So I'll go to the into 4 and put. Okay, so you see that I've attached it to the, I'm going to attach it to the other part. You can see this into 2 and into 4, right? And I went to the edge. You see that I left that center. Okay, is that center now that we are going to be putting our feather. Okay, I don't want to arrange the feather on the crinoline. I don't want to do that. Okay, so I try to tack it too. And then we are done tacking. We will now arrange our feather at the center. Can you see that? Make sure you tack very well. Can you see? So the feather, you just arrange it round, step by step. Of course, if you don't know how to do this, I have a video that shows you how to just arrange the feather. And that's what we did here. So that middle, we don't want to leave it that way. So we'll try and put shorter feather at the middle with our E6000. Okay? With our E6000. Can you see that? Okay? Can you see? Can you see how beautiful it is? Okay, so if you don't know how to do this feather, just check my video. You'll see where I actually taught how this feather can be used. So now we have this fan feather. This fan feather will be on one side. Okay, we're adding this fan feather because we just want the feather to be, the fascinator to be taller. Okay, so that the person that is wearing it will feel taller. Okay, so I'll be looking for places I'm going to be putting that. Okay, I'll be looking for places I'm going to be putting that. Okay, so this is just how to place your fan feather. Make sure there is glue on, enough glue on the stick of the feather, and then look for where you can put it that it will sit properly, as you can see. And you make sure that where the glue is, you are hiding it under your fascinator so that it doesn't show. Nobody wants to see the glue. Okay, nobody wants to see that, right? So you arrange it nicely and make sure that they are facing the right way. Okay, so we don't want that middle to be empty, so I'm going to be using my wire gauge 50 to just do just a simple wire like a berry. Okay, can you see that? I'm going to do 3. I've done the 3, and then I'm going to coil them all together, right? Fold it in, put glue, and then put it at the center so it looks like a berry. So you can also use this to do your finishing. Can you see that? Okay, so we're going to put our glue on it. You make sure that you put enough glue so that it will stay in place. Okay, and then allow it to breathe. At that center there's glue already. Okay, so I put and stick it. Can you see the outcome? Lovely, isn't it? Okay, so for those who have been asking how I cover my back of my fascinator, okay, so just watch this video and see how that is done. So I've applied glue at the back, E6000 at the back, allow it to breathe for a while, and take my taffeta and use it to cover the back. So I'm trying to trim it to the size of the fascinator. Do you get? I'm trimming it to the exact size. You will notice that I gave gap at the edge. I didn't allow the material to get to the tip of the fascinator. Okay, it's not at the tip. It will just be a little below that tip. Okay, and then we use our hand to spread it carefully. Make sure your hands are clean, and then you spread it very well. You can see what I'm doing. So anywhere that is excess, we just trim it because we don't want it to get to that part. Okay, so why I'm doing this is just to let it sit there permanently, and then at that edge you still apply your B6000 all round. Okay, generously. Okay, and then you get your pitashan. You put glue at the back too, as you can see, and then you place your pitashan at that edge. Okay, so because you want it to be permanent, you're going to use your peg. As you're placing it, be putting your peg. Okay, once you put your peg, there is nothing that will remove it from that, that will remove the pitashan from that edge. Can you see? So for those who have been asking, this is how I cover my back. There are different methods anyway, but this is one method that you can also use to do your finishing under. Okay, so you always use your peg, right? So when you get to the end, you cut it. You see, you give a space and cut and fold that part. Okay, you fold the part, put your glue. Make sure you put your glue at the end to finish it up, right? So you remember to allow it to breathe. Okay, when it breathes small, you now gum it. Remember to use your clip to hold it, right? Right. Okay, that's it. Can you see that? So we want to attach our Alice band. At the center there, you're going to apply your E6000 generously. Okay, allow it to breathe, like leave it to stay, and then the hairband you apply at the point where normally the hairband is supposed to go to the side. So this is my covering. This is what I use to cover. So if you want me to teach you what I actually use to do that hairband covering, say hairband covering in the comment section, and I will do a short video to tell you what I actually use. That will even make your work neater and it will be less expensive. So can you see how we have attached our fascinator on the hairband? Okay, so this glue, you can also use your candle gum if you want. Okay, you can use your candle gum. You can use this E or B6000. They are both very strong and it will stay. So you can see how I've covered mine. Okay, so it's permanent. You can see it. So we are done with the fascinator. See the outcome. This is really fine. So if you like what I'm doing, follow me, share it to your friends, share this video, follow me so that I'll be encouraged to do more. I have a lot to teach you guys for free. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, you share, and you subscribe to my channel. Okay, thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Bye.